Hello, Las Vegas. It's Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And I definitely need to start this show off by saying happy birthday to my very own firstborn baby, Sanaya Simpson, out there in Atlanta doing her thing, you guys. I'm such a proud mama. Her birthday was actually yesterday. And guess what else? She is the founder of the Vibrary. I've had her come on the show before, you guys, and I'm so proud to announce she just secured her very first major contract with Verizon. What she's going to do is lead mental health and wellness experiences for their employees. If this is something that your company is looking to do, so what she basically does is she provides like guided mindfulness sessions, wellness workshops, and emotional health check-ins with all the employees. So it like takes away from burnout, it boosts the morale. It just creates a healthier workplace culture and environment, right? So if you're interested in your company or your corporation jumping on there with Verizon, Sanaya at thevibrary.org, and that is SANIAH at thevibrary. That's V as in Victor, IBERARY.org. Sanaya at thevibrary.org, or you could check out our website, www.thevibrary.org, and that's V as in Victor, IBERARY. So I love that. It's kind of like the library, but get it? Vibrary. I was loving that, right, Wes? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I like it.
So, and on that note, let me go ahead and introduce you to none other than Wesley, who is the owner of Clear Choice Cleaning. All right. Hi, Wes. How are you?
Hi, Monique. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. So listen, and you guys really expand well past residential cleaning, right? So let me let you say it. Who all can you help with this business?
So we're helping residential, commercial, and also rental properties as well. So we're trying to expand as far as we can.
Great.
At this point.
So in other words, if I have my business owners, because a lot of the people that listen to this show, they're dentist offices, they're banks, you know what I mean? They're businesses. If they, at night when they shut down, you guys would come in and make sure everything is tidy and cleaned up and taken care of?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, we are more than willing to take on that workload, so we can, work with you on what works best for your weekly needs or, bi-weekly, monthly needs.
So you guys are flexible. And then it doesn't stop there. My property manager friends, which I do have, so when they have tenants that move out, you guys also have a team that will go in and clean that property, get it ready for the next tenants as well, right?
Correct. Yeah. So move in and move out cleanings that you need. We'll take care of everything from cleaning out the cabinets, baseboards, getting all the spider webs and the dust away.
Spider webs.
Yeah, hopefully there's none of those. I don't like spiders.
Right.
But just getting it ready and prepared for the next renter or the next person to move in. We can definitely help with that.
And then here's my favorite one. Residential. Because, dear, I have got kids, a dog, a dad that likes to eat crackers and drop crumbs everywhere. Okay? So even even just on that level, the residential, just you'll do a weekly, even you guys have a team that will come in and just help out weekly. Like I know a lot of my friends have people that come in maybe twice a month. Just,
Right.
clean those baseboards, things that we don't really get to, at least I don't. Big Mama used to get on her knees, honey, and make sure everything was right. I'm not going to lie. She would be rolling over. Not that I'm dirty, but baseboards and yeah. So you guys do all that as well?
Yeah. I mean, you can call me. Baseboards and home cleaning, mainly just to take off the load.
Yes.
All of us do so much currently.
Yes.
So we'll come in, we'll do basic cleaning, standard cleaning, surface cleaning, deep cleaning. We'll kind of tailor to your needs, and I'll stay as long as needed just to make sure that it gets done correctly.
And see, here's the thing. Like when you said take off the load, and I struggle with this as a wife, a mom, a business owner. Delegation is so key. I'm sure you know that as a business owner as well, right? But it took me so long to grasp that. Let people do what they're good at, and you focus on what you're good at, right?
Yeah.
So I need to focus on taking care of my clients. I need to focus on running my business, and I used to try to juggle it all, and it was just so overwhelming. And you know what happened? I start slacking or lacking in other areas. Maybe it's being a mother, I'm exhausted now because I'm trying to do it all. So it is so important that my people out there that are business owners or runners or whoever, just everybody's got a lot on their plate. It is such a low cost for you to go ahead. You get that back in so many other ways to go ahead and hire someone to come in. Make sure that when you come home from a hard day's work, right? Or running your business or whatever, you come home to a nice, clean home. It changes your mindset.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes you feel better.
It does.
And it keeps things on track. Sometimes it's worth it just to let some professionals come through and take the job
and do that,
for you.
That deep cleaning especially. I don't know about you, but when my house is a hot mess express, it clutters my mind. Like I'm just so focused on the wrong things. But when I come home and you guys have maybe came over and straightened up and got it all nice, now I can clearly think. And that is huge. That is such a, we take it, we might think, oh, no. Yeah, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It really is a big deal. So let's go over that again. Residential folks out there that you need to go ahead and have somebody come in. You know what I mean? Because it starts piling up. Next thing you know, you look up and it's like, oh my goodness, how did I get here?
Yeah.
So it's best to just have somebody come in, even if it's just like you said, once or twice a month.
Correct.
Or weekly, whatever works for you. Or if you're a property manager or just a landlord that needs somebody to come in now that your tenant has moved out, you need someone to come on in and get that property ready so you can rent it out for top dollar. Because let me tell you something, when I show properties that are for rent and they smell like smoke or they're dirty, I've got, renters looking around like, well, why are they going to charge me a cleaning deposit? This is a mess.
Correct.
So it's best that they go ahead and make it presentable for their, future renters and get top dollar.
Yeah.
Because if they come in and it's clean, that's going to justify the price that you're asking per month. All these little things play a role, right? And then, of course, we have commercial, I love that. You guys I love that you have a team for every single avenue because they're all important, right? So my commercial people, they've worked their butts. The dentist has had people in there all day and all night, and he needs somebody to come in and make sure that that place is clean. Yeah. And something else, here's a major thing that people think about. Can I trust you? Can I trust the people that are coming in cleaning? And I'll tell you what, I've known you guys for years, and I can speak to your character. I trust you 110%. So if that means anything to you guys,
oh, thank you.
I know them. I know them personally. And again, that's Clear Choice Cleaning. We always like to show love to our small businesses because all of my small businesses out there, you guys show me love and take care of me. I appreciate that. It doesn't go unnoticed. So once again, I'm playing it forward, and that's Clear Choice Cleaning. Wesley, if I have a landlord, property manager, business manager, maybe runs a business, or even just a regular old person like myself, how can they get in contact with you and your company?
Yeah, so the best way to contact us is to visit, if you'd like, clearchoicelv.com. That's clearchoicelv.com.
Okay, so it's clearchoicelv.com.
Correct.
And that's how anybody can get a hold of you, whether it's a business, whether it's just a regular old person like myself, or even a landlord that needs help getting those properties cleaned out.
Correct.
All right. So Clear Choice, not cleaning, Clear Choice LV, like Las Vegas.com.
Yep.
You guys can reach them. And like I said, they do an amazing job. And I'm just so grateful to have you on. And I love that you guys really do spread it all out, right? So you're able to, take care of the commercial side. You're able to take care of the residential side. You're able to take care of even the landlords that need a little help. And like we talked about, even business owners, you have to learn to delegate. The things, once again, that you're not needing to be focused on, you need to go ahead and delegate. And for me, I know that cleaning is one of those things. And I know I'm not by myself. And y'all better not tease me about what I said either now. But, getting down there, the baseboards, dusting, it all adds up, and it just really does fog up your brain when you come to a house that's not clean. For me, I can't think straight, and it's really hard to focus. But when I come home after you guys have, did your thing, I can woo-saw.
Yeah.
So if you want to woo-saw, once again, clearchoicelv.com is their website. Then whether it's a one-time cleaning, whether it's once weekly, once monthly, twice weekly. So 702-768-8857. That's where you can reach Wesley, and he is with Clear Choice Cleaning. 702-768-8857. Thanks, Wes, for coming on.
Thanks again for having me.
All right. Okay, guys, so let's go on with the show. Today, I'm just calling this like the Nuggets show, right? I'm just dropping nuggets. I care about you guys, and I just want to see everybody win. So I was at my dentist's office the other day, right? And I just love her. She's amazing. Anyway, she was telling me, Monique, thank you so much. She goes, when we first met, you were telling me about, I didn't sell her house, right? We had just met. She just bought a house with Richmond Homes, and we were just chatting, right? Or not just bought a house. I'm so sorry. She had been in her house for a couple years, right? And we were chatting, and I told her, hey, you've been in your house for a couple years. Even though you didn't put 20% down, I'm pretty sure you're sitting at about 20% in equity. And she goes, oh, well, what? Well, yeah, I know I am. I bought the house for, I think she bought it for like $300,000, and I think she was at about 370. The houses were worth 370 because at the time she said, she knew her neighbors were selling for around 370, 380, something like that, right? Which is 20%. Okay. So I said, okay, well, if you're at 20%, and you know that your neighbors are selling for obviously 300,000, that's 60,000 would be 20%. I said, if you know that, you can drop the mortgage insurance premium. And she said, really? And I said, yeah, that's going to save you $200 to $300 on average of your mortgage payment. So if your mortgage payment, is $2,000 a month, you drop that mortgage insurance premium, MIP, after your home has hit 20%. Now you're only paying $1,700, or something along those lines. It's money being saved is the point, right? She was thrilled. I told her what to do, and I'm telling you guys what to do. Even if I didn't sell you a home, I still want you to be in a better position, save some money. That's just what I want. That's what I want for all of y'all. So anyways, all you have to do is, in many cases, depending on your lender, you'll call them, let them know. Some of them will just look into it themselves and go ahead and drop it. Or you may have to hire an appraiser. Have the appraiser come out, prove that yes, indeed, you've hit 20% equity within your home, and bam, you provide that proof. Honey, they have to drop that premium because you don't need it anymore, right? There you go. There's one of the nuggets for you. I hope you like that one. And if if it doesn't apply to you, if you're not quite at 20%, tell some of your friends that have been in their home for quite some time and are paying a higher mortgage than they need to, and they just don't know this information. Here's another thing. My tipped employees are near and dear to me because I used to be a tipped employee, right? And here's the beautiful thing about tips is you make, typically really good money, but it's hard when it comes to buying a home, because your tips are not on paper. Therefore, you can't use them when you go to buy your property. Well, guess what? I have one of my very good friends. He's a bartender, and he works at a very prominent and very well-known bar all throughout the valley. Anyways, they pay him $12 an hour to be a bartender at this local bar, right? And he says, Mo, I trust you. I want you to get me a house. And I said, okay, let's figure this out, because he's talked to many other realtors in the past and lenders, and they all told him the same thing. Listen, buddy, you only make $12 an hour. At that rate, we're not going to be able to approve you for, anything that you're going to want. He says, Monique, I only want like $350,000. I can get a nice little single story home, $350,000. I said, okay, let's work this out. So of course we would get with my team lender, Mr. Valentino, and he takes the time to give us a game plan. And so now, hey, I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to make it real, just simple. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to need to do what's called tip compliance. Most companies have this where you can go in and claim tips. Okay. Go in and claim tips. For him, he told him, I need to see at least $5,500 a month. Right. Now he already makes $2,000 on his payroll, but if he, claims like $3,500 more, bam, we're hitting $5,500 a month. And here's the great thing. You only need to show that for a year. Okay. So he even advised him to go ahead and retro that. Ask them if they could retro it because we're halfway through the year. In many cases, they will. And then that way I will be giving one of my favorite bartenders keys January 1st, right? Because we'll have 1 year in by January 1st. Okay. So I said, listen, I have plenty of friends that are bartenders, cocktail waitresses, drivers. I mean, there's so many people that make tips that are in this position. They want to be homeowners, but it's hard because, hey, I don't have that on paper. Now, there is another suggestion or another way to do this. It's called bank statement loans, but those come at a much higher cost, you guys. Your credit has to be through the roof, right? And your rate is going to be higher. And you got to put way more down. So sure, we can do that if you have the credit, you've got the money, right? And you're not worried about the monthly mortgage, which a lot of people that make tips are not. So, hey, there's another avenue that we can take with you for that. But I just want my folks out there, my tipped employees that we're in Vegas, right? I want you guys to know that me and my team have a way to get you into a home. 702-984-3700. 702-984-3700 is my number. And my website is welcomehomewithmonique.com. You can always check me out on IG, Instagram at Realtor Monique Buchanan. That's Buchanan. Okay, so let's pivot real quick too. I want to talk about my sellers, okay? I've got a seller right now, and I thought to myself, I need to share this story on the air because she's not the only one going through this. Beautiful lady, sweet person, and what do? We're kind-hearted. So she's had a renter in the property that she would like for me and my team to sell. And the renter has been there for 9 years. 4-bedroom home, you guys. 1,600 square feet. And she's been paying $600 a month. Nothing wrong with being nice. I get it. If you're in a position that you're able to bless a family and not charge them a lot, that's awesome. But here's the thing. 9 years. Now, my seller is up in age. She wants to go ahead and sell this property. And it took her a while to tell the tenant, because she cares about the tenant. But at the end of the day, she needs to do what she needs to do for her family and for herself. So she says, Monique, will you help me with this? I absolutely will. So here's the thing, you guys. This tenant is accustomed to paying $600 a month for a 4-bedroom house. She, of course, is like, hey, I don't know where I'm going to find this kind of space. And I had to tell her, I'm going to be honest with you, you're not going to find a 4-bedroom house for $600. It's not happening. In fact, if if I can find you a 2-bedroom, because it's just her and her daughter, they're both grown, her daughter works. Long story short, it's just those two, but it's going to be at least $1,200, right? So here's the thing. If you're in a position like my seller is right now, I have cash buyers, and that's the route we're going to end up taking with this situation because the property is not in the best of shape, right? 9 years, and, there's some issues going on. So instead of my seller having to deal with all that, having to possibly have an issue with the tenant moving out because she might have a hard time finding something because in her mind, she still wants to pay no more than like $800 a month, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately, right? So with this situation, the best route I could provide for her is a investor. The investor is not that far off of what we would have had to sell it for anyway if we were to just go traditional, right? And like I said, I'll sit with you, go over both options. Hey, I can list your property for you traditional. This is what the fees look like. This is what it looks like when you'll walk away with traditional. Or if you're like, hey, there's too much stuff in this house. I don't want to be bothered with having to move all this stuff out. Or I already know there's a lot of issues and things that need to be repaired and replaced and things, just a whole lot of stuff going on in the house. I don't want to deal with repairs or people walking through the house to look at the house. Then, hey, here is our investor option. Here is what they're going to offer you. But guess what? You're not going to have to worry about anyone having to look at the property. There will be no showings. And guess what else? You have a tenant in place that might need a little more time to move out. Maybe you have a family member in place that's going to need a little more time to move out than if we were to sell it traditional. No problem. My investors will let you pick the closing date up to 60 days. Okay? So that's perfect for my seller right now. She's going to be able to tell her tenant, you don't only have 30 days to move, you're going to have 60 days. Okay? So she'll be able to give her a 30-day notice and, have 60 total days for her to go ahead and make that move, which makes it easier for the tenant too. Hey, she's just trying to live too, right? She needs a little more time. She's been living there for 9 years. She's got a lot of stuff. So this is a blessing to the tenant to get more time to move out, as well as my sellers not having to worry to have to show the property, after a renter's been in there for 9 years and all the issues having to, deal with the buyer that's asking for all these repairs. This takes a lot off of her chest. She's excited. She's happy. She's going to be able to move forward with my investor's offer. It is not a horribly lowball offer. It's reasonable, but it takes a lot off of her shoulders. And in her mind, her position is, hey, it's worth it for me to not have to, deal with all this. I can just go ahead and simply go ahead and sell it and be done with it in 60 days. Now, another thing is if it's empty, the investors will go ahead and pay you within 2 weeks. As soon as 2 weeks, you get to choose when you want to close. As soon as 2 weeks or as late as 60 days. That is a huge deal for a lot of people that are out there that, hey, either have the clock ticking against them. Maybe they got a notice of default in the mail and they know that their house, unfortunately, may be going up for foreclosure. They know that they have 30 days to, sell that property, or else they're going to walk away with nothing but really bad credit. And the bank's going to keep all the money that they put into that home over all these years. That doesn't make sense, you guys. We can get a cash offer, go ahead and sell the property, and you can walk away with something rather than nothing. And you walk away with your credit, where me and my team can then sell you another home. Okay, so when you're ready, go ahead and buy another home. But if you go the other route, keep it a secret, don't want to face it, and you're going to let the bank take your money and your home and your credit. Let's avoid that, right? So if you guys know anybody that's going through any of this, or maybe has a property that was left to them in an inheritance and they need some help with that, or any of these things, if they need to sell their property, they need some guidance, they need some options, right? All the options. My number is 702-984-3700, 702-984-3700, welcomehomewithmonique.com. And you can catch me at IG at Realtor Monique Buchanan. All right. So another thing, you guys, the market right now is a buyer's market. Yes, man, it's been years since I've been able to fully and confidently say that. It is a buyer's market. Now, I'll be honest with my sellers. Right now, your property is going to sit more than likely. Okay. Average homes right now are sitting. And when I say average, I mean anywhere from 300,000 to 600,000 are sitting on average for 44 days before they actually are sold. So they're sitting a bit longer than we're used to. But here's the good news for the buyers out there. We still have down payment assistance programs, right? We still have all these programs, including the 3-1 buy down program. So when you hear your friends at the water cooler telling you that the rates are too high, which right now my sellers are saying they're right at about a 6.25%, that's not horrible. But let me tell you, we have the 3-1 buy down, where I've explained it before. It's basically like me and my team, we go out and we're able to get those funds from the seller because not everybody's beating down their door. So they're willing to give you $10,000 or $15,000 towards your cost out of their own pocket. And then we're going to turn around and use that money to pay the mortgage a little bit at a time for the next 3 years, which lowers your mortgage payment for 3 years. After 3 years, it's fixed. It does not move again. 3 through 30, it's fixed. So you don't have to worry about that. But this buys you 3 years of time to wait for these rates to come down, so you don't have to have a really high mortgage out the gate. Guys, down payment assistance programs right now, my clients are closing on homes and coming out of their pocket in many cases less than $5,000. Oh, Monique, how are they doing that? Well, the sellers, once again, are willing to pay almost half their costs in many cases. And then I'm putting them in a 0 down program. So they have no down payment. The seller is like, hey, I'll help you with your closing costs if you buy my house. Hello, there you go. In many cases, they're putting down or paying less than what they would have if they would have rented. Because guess what, guys? Rentals are still requiring the same I'm requiring for a down payment assistance program in many cases. Okay, renters need in many cases 640 credit score, or else they're going to make you put down an extra security deposit. Well, guess what? Now you're paying $5,000 for a rental that you will walk away in a year with 0 equity. You will make nothing on that property. Does not make sense to have a landlord and a Land Rover. Okay? Make some money. Make yourself some equity to leave to your family. Leave a property for your family. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at, you guys, with this. I've got programs going on. I've got clients buying homes for less than $5,000 out of their pocket right now, utilizing the down payment assistance programs. But I don't know how long these programs will last. All right. So happy birthday to my baby girl, Sanaya. I love you. And once again, if you're interested in having her services come help your business and your employees, you can reach her at thevibrary.com. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.